Hi guys, it's Tony, and I'm back with another reading from my Wellness Memoir, Grow Your Own Way, Whole, Well, and Worthy. And before I get into it, I want to talk about how this particular reading came about. Um, this book chronicles my wellness journey from youth to current, and a lot of it in my childhood and some of the relationships and spaces that I was in a child and how I felt as a child. So recently I had a conversation with a fourth grader who said something so profound to me that I actually had to stop and take a breath and really breathe into how I was going to respond. And without too much detail, she told me she was becoming afraid of her dad. And that hit me. It hit me hard. And it hit me because growing up, the person who created me just tapped out of my life altogether. And it's in the book, questioned at one point if I was even his child. And so another man stepped in and became my pops, my dad, my father, my safe space from the male figure. And I'm so grateful for that because I never had a sense of fear or mistrust. Actually, if I'm honest, I never really felt like I had a safe space growing up, but he was my safe space. And so hearing this young lady say that she was becoming afraid of her dad, it just hit me in a different way. And it did take me back into this reading that I'm going to share with you today. And it's on page 63 is where it begins, and it's titled Love Under Conditions. Growing up, I observed and received love with conditions. The expression of love became confusing. It seemed each time I gave love, the response would be painful. I witnessed countless unhealthy relationships around me, couples whose dynamics were disrespectful and tumultuous, yet society deemed them normal. I instinctively knew that these patterns weren't right for me. You become often what you grow up in, what you're taught, what you see. And as a young woman, I carried a heavy burden of insecurities, often masked beneath a facade of strength. I had become adept to suppressing the hurt and pain wrought by the labels and others placed upon me. So in my quest for love, I felt like a wanderer searching for a home without an idea of what I was truly looking for. My understanding of love was distorted. It was intertwined with experiences of hurt, betrayal, pleading for forgiveness, temporary moments of joy, and then the return to the cycle of pain. The cycle would always include a significant amount of emotional and mental pain transferred from human to human. Each observation and my own interactions seemed to echo this troubling rhythm, leaving me unsatisfied. What was I looking for? What was I looking for? That wasn't something I could easily define at the time. I had no idea what I was looking for. I think in hindsight now, and this is just off the reading a little bit, I was looking for some type of validation from others. Starting off feeling rejected from one of your creators, you don't realize how much of effect that has on you until I begin to reflect and write back. And although my pops was a wonderful human being and treated me like I was his from blood, it still was a validation that I found myself, especially as a woman, seeking. from others. So that's how I approached all my relationships, not exclusive to intimate relationships, but relationships with friends, family, co-workers. I sought validation, and in seeking that validation, I told myself that all relationships at some point were supposed to hurt. And I don't mean like surface level hurt. I meant really hurt. So when that young lady told me she was beginning to be afraid of her dad, there was so much in that. I saw the defeat in her eyes. I saw the confusion in her. And I will share one thing. I did recommend she have a conversation with her dad and express that. And she said, she had and she will. But how we view the world and how we approach relationships, again, not just intimate relationships, but relationships as a whole, is often rooted into how we were loved from that very young age. How safe did we feel? Were we seen? Were we heard? Were we seen and heard? Or both or neither? So with the youth, I think it's important to always pour into them, but also listen to what they have to say, because that is the root of who you are as you grow up in search of what your heart desires. And it can be quite painful and quite challenging to seek validation all the time, especially when you don't have a sense of who you are, because seeking validation from others can lead you down the wrong path. Yeah, so I really wasn't planning on doing this reading today. Love Under Conditions, page 63. I just, after having that conversation, it took me back in that moment. And some of the things I said to her, I paused before each word because I wanted to be mindful of I wasn't transferring my experiences onto her. Yeah. Grow your own way. Grow your own way, and allow and accept and show others how to grow their own way too. There's a lot of life in this book, and it's funny as I walk around and have conversations with folks about it, I am just taken back into not only the moment, but the growth and how I did it this way and how I want you to do it your way. Yeah. If you don't have a copy of Grow Your Own Way, please head over to Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, Goodreads, Walden Pond Books, Bookshop, Amazon, did I say that already? And grab yourself a copy so we can join in on these conversations. All right, you guys, grow your own way and leave a comment, thought. Bye.